we're almost in a survival mode. The, you know, it's like the gerbil on the wheel, you know, things keep going. We have new labor contracts coming up every day, and, you know, requirements there, requests and increased costs, changes in probation, and, you know, a shortfall in central booking, and nothing is, I won't say nothing, but, you know, there certainly aren't any significant changes from what's coming from the state. So our budgetary process just becomes even more difficult as we move forward. So, you know, the Cedar Haven, you could look at that as that's a windfall, but we have to manage that honorably and carefully, because it's not something that's going to solve all the problems forever for the county. It's a short-term change in budget or cash available, but we want to place ourselves in a legitimate financial position for the first time really in a long time, and I think that's the real purpose of that money. And a lot of it needs to be held as carryover, which we haven't had for a significant length. You know, that's how we need to use those funds responsibly. The one influx would be the $1.5 million that we're spending in direct operation. That will come back to the budget. But, you know, $1.5 million today, what's the significance of it really?
I would like to say that the block grant has not come through for the counties, and I'm really disappointed in that. MHID, Drug and Alcohol, Area Agency on Aging, trying to think, I think even housing, they're all affected by that. MHID is the most affected. And if we cannot have an efficiency in our budget to treat the individual, it makes it more expensive for us. And I'm really disturbed about that, because that is one thing when I was president of CCAP that I lobbied hard for. It has been successful. And for some reason, I think only 20 counties have been granted block grant status, and we are not one of them. So our staff department heads tell us they would like this, and I fully support them, and I ask our legislature to do whatever they can to make it happen as an option for all counties. Maybe there are those that don't want to participate, that's fine. But Lebanon County wants to participate, and I would appreciate if they would open that door. They're making cuts, and I think that if they could accommodate our request, it would be one small step to show that they are looking out for us as well.
At a recent government meeting, not one of yours, a citizen took exception to the county just not ponying up the extra money for central booking. And one of the reasons, and one of the things that the citizen had stated was that he just sold Cedar Haven for all of this money. And I seem to get the impression that it was almost like a windfall, something that you can tap into and now pay. Do you find that there are pressures, so that you're being pressured in some quarters to spend now additional money or make up outlays in other areas because of that? See how that there is a thought that maybe you know we're in the money now.
I haven't been approached that way. That thought has crossed my mind that, you know, it's like someone winning the lottery. You know, all of a sudden you have friends you didn't even know you had. And I think there will be some of that. And I personally thought in the central booking thing, just when we were trying to take a stand on that, the announcement of the Cedar Haven sale was on board, and I'm sure that would surface. I didn't realize that it had, but I was certain that, you know, the municipalities would say, oh, you know, you got $25.5 million and you're asking us for $2,000 or something, you know. But I haven't heard that, other than you said you reported it from what, a supervisor's meeting?
It wasn't, yeah, no, it was a city council meeting.
Council meeting.
It wasn't an elected official who
Right.
made the statement. It was a
Public
disgruntled
input.
citizen,
Yeah.
so to speak. But
We're
that
probably
doesn't make
familiar
the
with
point
it.
the sentiment any less valid. I just wondered if you folks had thought along those lines, and whether or not you've been getting any pressures along those lines.
It is a process that we have to get through to see what what we're going to end up with there. But you could take the whole all the proceeds from the sale and put that against a pension, and we still wouldn't have the pension fully funded. So, that's just a simple look at the windfall.
Yes.
That it's not a way of solving all our issues, but it certainly will get us in a better place financially and from a going forward, by able to be steering that 1.7 million that's allocated in the budget to things that are either neglected or things that we need to address. It'll help in a lot in that area. But yeah, for people to think that the floodgates are going to be opening, we're still below the 30 million that we owe for the pension. So this will help a lot, but not it's not a cure-all.
I concur with your analysis, because if we, for instance, put 20 of that 25 million against the pension deficit, we would have $5 million left to work with. We have to pay back the bond issue that is apportioned for the Honeywell audit, because that was a long-term arrangement and we cannot let that debt go unpaid. That is something that we would be obligated to pay off. And there are other issues that come up dealing with personnel, whether it's unemployment compensation or things of that nature, and I can't even imagine all of them, that we do have to then put, as they were saying, something into a carryover fund so that we can cover those and also unforeseen expenses that will pop up because of this particular transaction. So if somebody thinks there's going to be a windfall, there's going to be zilch. In fact, we're on the negative end selling Cedar Haven. As was pointed out, we're probably $10 million short, in my estimation, to paying off this portion of the fund. And maybe that's a little high, but the point is made. So it's certainly not going to give us any extra money to increase programs or increase staff or things of that nature, in my estimation.
Amazing how things occur. We need to address the pension and how to best apply it, how much and so on. And we ask the stakeholders, one of which is the Hague Group, who they're the actuaries for the pension, and we ask the controller to make a request to prepare some kind of a study or something to let us know how the sale of Cedar Haven is going to impact. And first thing they said is they want, what, 2,500 or 3,500 for a study. So my little bit about you win the lottery and somebody's there with their hand out. This is another example. When I called my colleague over at Franklin County, who just sold their home, and they have the Hague Group as the actuary as well. And I said, Bob, what did you guys do? He said, I think we did the study. And he said, but I'll go back and check. And he called me back. He said, yeah, we spent $3,500 to have it. Now, these are the folks that are paid to be our actuary. To me, it's criminal to have them say, we need to do $3,500 to do a study, when they have all our numbers and everything else, and they work on it, so, but for a fee already, to require another fee to do this. And I to be honest with you, it won't matter, I guess, because I will never vote to give them another $3,500 to do a study, because we're selling Cedar Haven. It's just unbelievable. But I don't think we'll have any, if we do, it's certainly going to be minimal as far as unemployment's concerned, because these folks are all going to either retire or have jobs. So I can't see how the county would be on the hook for unemployment. But there are going to be a lot of things, I'm sure, show up as new expenses or new
Yeah.